Well, Merry Christmas to you and a prosperous New Year for us all, I hope. So yeah, this is the Christmas special. I haven't had to do one before, so you'll have to bear with me. But really, I thought I'd probably look back over the year. It's been a fantastic year for me, mentally, physically, everything. All the planets aligned. And of course, buying the bike, which we'll get to in a minute, was just a game changer in Kefalonia. If you've just joined me, bear with us. This is a vlog about my life, but I spend most of my time riding around an island called Kefalonia in Greece, which a lot of people seem to like watching. And then in the winter, I come back and earn the money to continue doing that the next season, repairing boats, cars, doing fabrication, welding, you name it, and I do it. Although I am really a mechanical engineer by trade, I suppose you'd say. Although I was taught panel beating when I was younger, so there you go. Anyway, I digress, which is a big word for a 5-year-old, nearly 6. And those of you who watch the channel regularly will probably laugh at that, because I am mentally 5 years old, really. So if you haven't already done it, please hit subscribe. It helps me a lot. We're over, I think we're at 510 viewers at the moment, which is brilliant that have subscribed. But the channel gets a lot more traffic, so I know sometimes it's difficult to, if you're watching it on the telly, to subscribe, but if you can, please subscribe, sit back and enjoy the ride. So let's get on with the video. The first part, I think, really will deal with me collecting the game changer, which was Nikki, otherwise known to you lot as the Black Pearl, my Z1000 Kawasaki, which I brought at the beginning of the year as transport on the island. It is my only means of transport, and I ride her every day, and it was an absolute game changer. Fantastic way to go about the island. So let's get on with the video, shall we? Hello YouTubers. Well, the day has come when we got to get me something to ride around on, because otherwise I have to keep nicking Beer Grylls' donkey. There we are, safely aboard. I don't know why people try and rush on. It's not like they're going to not let you get aboard, but anyway, we're on. Same sort of ferry as they use on the crossing from Argostoli to Luxury. Same sort of loading. So yeah, another 10 or 15 minutes I would think, and we'll be underway. Next stop, Nidri. I think that's how it's pronounced. Okay, so that's what all the fuss is about, and that's why I'm here. A Kawasaki Z1000 05 Gen 1, I think that is. I don't know. I'll have to ask the young man who's selling it me. Here he is there. Wave with the camera. He's going to pick me up tomorrow, and we're going to go and do the paperwork, and then I can ride her home. It needs a few bits and pieces doing to bring her up the Rudge spec, but I think you'll agree it's a worthy steed. Off to Lefkada to do the paperwork tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, with my friend here. I thought it was a good opportunity to video, because the next time you see it, I'll be riding it. So there he goes. So there you go. Rudgy's got himself a Z1000. There you go. She's on her new home soil. I didn't take any videos of me getting off the ferry, as it was a bit hectic. There's loads of idiots who seem to think they're going to get off quicker when their car is parked at the back by getting in the way of you. So there was a gap, there was a load of bikers with me, and we all just shot off. So I pulled up at the end of the road. I'm going to going that way now to Argostoli. I'm not even going to stop in Foscado for something to eat. I'm just going to head home. I might even pop in and see Wilson Catering tonight because it's Friday night club. So we'll see. Anyway, my baby's home. We're on our way back to Spilia. Well, I'm yet to find out who's put that on the door, but I'm very appreciative of that because that will keep the sun off the bike, the rain off the bike. Ideal. I know Terry and Janice went out shopping the other day, bless them. Anyway, as you can see, she's home. Welcome home, Nikki, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. So that's the story of how me and this bike came together. It's got a few problems, a bit noisy in the top end of the gearbox, which I can't quite work out why it would do that because it's not noisy lower down. So answers on the postcard. It's only noisy in top gear. Everything else is smooth as silk. So that's Nikki, the Black Pearl. I wasn't a big fan of Lefkada and Nidri, but I suppose each to their own. And to be fair, I haven't really explored the island. I was fairly stressed. My mental health can be a bit tricky to navigate sometimes, and doing something like, you know, buying a bike in a foreign country when you don't speak the language, can't read the forms. The ferry that you thought you were going to catch isn't actually running. It was all very stressful, so I didn't really get to look around the island. Maybe next year, it's something I'd like to do if I can get enough money coming in. I'd like to pop off and do the 7 Ionian Islands first of all. Take Nikki with me and have a ride round. But anyway, that's for another day. So yeah, that was by Nikki. So the next thing we can deal with, I suppose, is my neighbours are completely raving mad in a lovely way. I love them to bits. Everybody refers to them as, well, me and Paul Baker refer to them as Mum and Dad. Because they're always there in a crisis to help out. Terry loves to cook and entertain and is a fantastic cook. And without their help this year, I think things probably would have gone down the pan rapidly. They took me to the ferry to go and collect the bike, supported me when I had meltdowns. Just very, very nice people. So if you're watching, thank you very much from the heart of my bottom. Couldn't have done it without you. And I look forward to seeing you in the new year when we're all back home, because Terry and Janice have had to fly back to deal with some bits and pieces in their lives. So anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at Beer Grills and the Terminator, as they're known, Wilson Catering. So Mum reckons this is a bit high for Beer Grills to get into. Oh, he's done it, look. I think he's cheated though. He's cheated, he went in the low end, didn't he?
No, whatever you...
Having said that, have you seen how close it is to the edge? Yeah, I reckon we should give him a bit of a shake, because look, there's a big... Yeah, so if we just give him a bit of a... It's creaking. Is he insured if he falls off that?
Would have been actual causes. So you leave me alone now. Now I've proved to you that getting in a hammock is not an issue.
You got to get out yet.
Well, getting out's not an issue either.
Well, we tried.
It just seems so I'm not doing it.
Hump's turn now.
No.
I think Roger should give me the camera and him have a go.
So there you go, another adventure with Beer Grylls and the Terminator. This is why we call him Beer Grylls. Look at that.
Roast lamb.
See, he's looking quite chuffed with himself. And I'm looking even more chuffed than he is. So there you go, another Friday club comes to an end.
Yeah.
Wilson Catering, Beer Grylls did us proud again with a lamb roast dinner.
Yeah.
And all I've got to do now is put my big brother into the wheelbarrow and cart him back to his car.
Stop,
Why?
because he's filming you.
There's no point in me stopping. I've got to get to the top.
Yeah, she can't stop. She's got to get to the top. She's got a refrigerator, you know. It's Faranata.
Let's go to Sparta.
There you go. See?
Who said you couldn't?
Yeah. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Did it! I ain't doing it again, no.
Well, you don't have to. You've got a place in Faranata.
Yeah, that's with a fridge,
I read it.
a radiator.
I suppose I've got to do it now.
Yeah.
See, here we go. Here's Beer Grylls at his very best. Except it's not hanging off a ladder this time. See, this is how Beer Grylls has survived so long, and you can't actually see him, can you?
And his natural camouflage and that.
Yeah. So it doesn't look very health and safety to me, but never mind. Mad as a bag of wasps. And that's, I tell you, that's only part of the story really with Terry. I love Janice's laugh. It's contagious. But yeah, if I'd have had a camera on me all the time, then we would have had a complete series that would have gone on Netflix, I think. He's completely raving mad. As I said in the video, he's got more conditions than a medical journal, but it doesn't stop him. I admire him for that. He climbs trees and mountains and banks, and if he wants to do something, he'll do it. So what's next? Well, every up has a bit of a down, and unfortunately this year there was a big one for us. Me, Terry and Janice have had to move out of the apartment, which I loved. And if you're watching, Yolana and Left Terrace, I love you to bits, and I'll be coming to see you when I get back. So don't worry about that. We're always going to be friends. Unfortunately, there was a land dispute, which meant that the drive was blocked off. So the only real quick way out of the property was a ladder, which isn't very safe. You had to either that or walk quite a distance and then through somebody's garden, which also wasn't very safe. Not very practical if there's a wildfire either. You need to get out of there quickly. And of course, I couldn't bring the bike down to the flat to work on it if something went wrong with it, and that wasn't any good either. So me, Terry and Janice decided the best thing to do was to look for something else. They found something. I haven't as yet. There is something on the back burner, which is quite exciting actually. It was a property that me and a friend were going to buy as a business opportunity, but it fell through, and now it looks like I might be able to rent it, but we'll see. We'll see. It hasn't come off yet, so we're still working on it. Anyway, let's have a look at the land dispute, and you'll see what the problem was. Yeah. Would you want to do that? I've been doing it every morning, and so has Terry, and as you know, he's got more health conditions than a medical journal, so it's not good for him. If I fell off there, I've already got some serious injuries from falling off the boat, as some of you know, and I've been pretty fit since my physio showed me what to do to keep fit, and I want to keep it that way. Let me show you the other way out. You have to walk along there, all the way along here. Down here, through this little gate which the person who owns this land has allowed us to open up. Bit of a drop there, so that's a bit dangerous at night, as you can tell. Round here, and out through there, and then you go up along there, out onto the road, along there, through the gate. Terry's car is parked in there, and my bike's parked up at the back of my flat on the land above it. So yeah, not ideal, as I think you will agree. Now let me show you what has caused all this kerfuffle. So there's my apartment, flat, whatever you want to call it, and of course there's the beloved Sky Lounge which we built last year with its lovely views and its please don't climb sign, and Beer Grylls' hammock, and then this. Yeah, and as you can see, it goes right up across the drive. Now then, that's not where it stops. So there's the drive in, and as you can see, he's fenced that off as well. And not only that, but you can't park by the road because he's put barbed wire up there. So, as you can see, it's a long way down there. My bike's been parked there, I'm not happy about that. Landlady said, stick it in there, which is what I've been doing. But, not ideal. So, brings us neatly round to outtakes. Well, let's cheer everybody up with those. Well, a few of you have said that I've met actually on Kefalonia that you like the outtakes. Maybe my sense of humour doesn't run that way. Some of them I have found quite funny. But I just chuck them in now, and people seem to like them. So, without further ado, let's have a look at a certain bridge I tried to film. I was there for about 3 hours and never managed to get it filmed. And a few of the outtakes that I think are quite funny. Just look at the colour of that water. Oh, shall we start that again? Take 2. Just look at the colour of that water. No, that's far too sarcastic. Oh, cut, start again. Make sure there's no traffic for the noise. Just look at the... Seriously? Just look at the colour of that water. Yay! I do amuse myself sometimes. I'm going to have to cut that out, that's no good. Let's get back on, Nicky. And find somewhere with a cold beer or something like that, although I'm not supposed to be drinking, really. So there we go, viewers. We're off to Spatia today. Main reason being, as some of you who watch the channel on a regular basis, just got to turn the ignition off on Nicky, the Black Pearl. I keep forgetting to turn it. And right on cue, there's something you don't see every day of the week. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? I'm going to have to cut and start again, aren't I? Today I'm off to Spatia. those of you who follow the channel on a regular basis will know that we've had a few problems at the Rudge homestead in I've forgotten where I live. Now, something that I mentioned just before that clip of the outtakes, I bump in quite often I've become sort of fairly famous on the island. Now, I appreciate the island is only 300 square miles. It's inhabited by about 40,000 people, 5,000 of which apparently are British. And then you've got all the holiday makers, which probably swell the island to 3 times its normal amount of people that live there. So, you know, it's a fairly small place. I'm going to get bumped into quite a lot by people who are watching this. You've probably seen me about. And I don't mind people shouting, all right, Roger, how you doing? If I've got 5 minutes, I'm quite happy to talk to people. I've had people ask me for autographs. I've had people ask me to sit down and have a drink because they want to have a chat with me about moving there, all sorts of stuff. And it's quite nice. So I decided that maybe one or two of you might want to be filmed. And yes, you did. So this is for you. It was Meet the Viewers, a lovely couple that I met in Assos, because they were the first ones that I did the video Meet the Viewers. I think we'll put you on, shall we? You know who you are. Let's get on with that. So this is Victoria. How do you do? Anyway, you lot can mind your own business. We're going to have a coffee or something now.
Definitely. Thank you.
So how's your holiday going anyway?
Really amazing.
Yeah?
So
Really
far.
good. We're about, where are we, a week in now?
A weekend. We've got a week and a day left, and we're having an amazing time. Love it. Thank
On
you.
the late night
Yeah.
flight from Bristol,
Yeah.
and there's like an hour between
Is it like 10 o'clock?
then and closing time, so you're like Colin McRae zooming down the road to get there, just to get the mythos in before closing time.
And Tom always says at least you can't see the edges of the.
Yeah.
the
And every
roads.
morning, it's every kind of our first morning, we then drive back up out of town for town, and you kind of remember how sheer the drop.
Yeah, that's right.
A bit faster.
Thank goodness we could not see that, but Tom, no, he said I could drive this road with my eyes closed. Everything's fine. But I get it. But no, we love it.
Yeah,
Cannot get enough of it.
Tom, Victoria, when you're racing back from the airport to get your first drink in on your holidays, I understand, but you're not Colin McRae or whatever his name was. I mean, look at that. Frightens me to death looking down there. Cut. Here we go. It was Meet the Viewers Day today. I think these two are going to move here. They've got more of a passion for it than I've had, so you know. And the funniest thing was they wanted to meet Nikki. So there she is. And apparently a few of you have decided now that that's more of a character than I am. So that can only be a good. So there you go. What a lovely couple. And I hope I see them again next year at some point. They brought me a lovely lunch, actually. so the site's getting sponsored one way or another. Anyway, views. Let's have a look at some views, shall we? The island is just spectacular. It's one of the reasons I love living there. Although, from my point, I have been asked this actually. So let's tackle that. I've heard lots of people that go on holiday, and this will make Leanna, a good friend of mine, it'll make her laugh. Everybody who goes there says they're going home. Everybody who goes there says they love the island. They've fallen in love with it. And somebody asked me recently why I wanted to go there. For me, 30 years ago, or thereabouts, I went out there on honeymoon. With the ex-wife. I was fairly well travelled. I've been to America, France, Italy. I used to deliver cars to Athens. I'd been to Spain. I'd been around a little bit. It wasn't like my first rodeo, but I got off the plane and I felt a feeling I've never really felt. I felt like I'd come home, if that makes any sense. Now, I know a lot of holidaymakers will say that. But I can tell you from experience, living in a place and holidaying in a place is two different things. And I've got every admiration for people who try and spend as much time as they can on Kefalonia, helps the economy, and they get a great time. But for me, I needed to go back and live there, and I can't really put it into any other words than that. Was it difficult? Hell yeah. As you know, if you watch this channel regular, I suffer with clinical depression, anxiety, and all the good stuff that goes along with it. I overthink everything. I look for problems, as Terry said, there aren't there. It's just the way I am. I've had counselling over the years. I've been on tablets, all sorts of stuff. So for me to do this and get it done was a huge mountain that I've climbed. It was quite difficult at times, but I did it. Am I happy? Yes, very. Happiest I've been in a long time. I do feel like I've come home. The only downside to it is that I have to now come back here to work. Although I do miss my friends in the UK, so there is an upside to that, I suppose. I get to see everybody when I'm not working. So anyway, let's have a look at the views and why somebody might fall in love with the place, shall we? There you go. That's I did a video of that beach a while back. Kyriakis, I think it's called. And this end of it is just how Kefalonia used to be. It's got an old dirt track up to it, which you can see. Very quiet, very pleasant. Two little tavernas serving it. Fantastic. And then in the distance over there, where you can see that boat coming in, is a little port. There's a taverna there. Well, I think there's two tavernas there. Just lovely. Loved it. Anyway, thought I'd stop and enjoy that view. We're heading over there. For those of you who love Mrs. Beach, Mertu as you'd read it in English, there it is. So there you go. That's where we've just come from. Kyriakis Beach over there. I think that one down there is probably one of the ones you can't get to unless you're on a yacht or a luxury trawler yacht. I mean, look at the size of that thing. Fantastic. And that down there is where we're off to for lunch. Looks like there's a few boats in there as well. So here we are, Assos. It's one of the beaches. There's another one just round the corner to my right. There's the one of the most famous buildings photograph-wise. Well, we just stopped. Well, I've just stopped. Oh, I suppose we have. Me and Nikki, the Black Pearl, just stopped on the road between Argostoli and Mytos. This is the first crossroads we'll reach, really. If you go straight on from there, you end up in Famia, which I've said before. But I just thought I'd stop and show you some of the views, which are quite spectacular. I mean, back in that direction, where Agostoli is just round the corner, the sea was such an aqua blue, it was unbelievable. But yeah, look at that. Getting all territorial, that one is. So how's it paid for? Well, we'll have a few snips at that, shall we? There's boat building, there's boat painting, varnishing, repairing old vans and cars, panel beating, bodywork, driving, you name it. I do it when I'm back here, and I do it willingly. And lately I've been working 7 days a week. I have had today off because it's my daughter's 18th birthday, which is a special time in any little girl's life, so I'm going to see her tonight. So I thought I'd pay some bills and do the Christmas special. So yeah, we'll have a few clips of what Rudgy does to make a living. And that is the finished article. I was going to film myself drawing it, but I can't find the contraption that I stand the phone on when I'm filming, so you'll have to put up with the before and after for the minute. But yeah, that's for those of you who are familiar with my cartoons. The tyres have always got something hidden in them. This one actually says Kojak Tyre Co. And of course there's little things that make you laugh all over the place, fairly obvious on this one, but sometimes they're well hidden and people don't notice them for years, and then I get a phone call saying, oh, I didn't know you'd drawn that in there. Transit part 2. It failed on this end bit of silt, which if we come out the van to give you your bearings, driver's side rear, somebody had welded it badly, and so I've chopped out the rough bit, but I'm going to clean it up now, make it a bit more square. So there we go, that's started to tack that in there. Like that. So now what you do is cut the welds there, cut the welds there, cut the welds there. It stops it distorting. Just keep going round until you've filled all the gaps. These here will be plug welded, which I can demonstrate now hopefully. Let's see, get the camera in the right place. Like that. That's how we do that. So there we go, that's the rear bearing installed. There's a specially shaped washer that you can drop over, and a nut, and don't forget to undo the tab washer before you put it on. Take it off and do the tab washer back up when you put it back on, otherwise it will all come undone. That's nearly cleaned up now, just got to get rid of the rest of the rust, then I can spray it with the zinc plated stuff that we use for welding with, and there you go, I've swaged that bit of floor. Got to drill some spot weld holes in there. Right, so there we go, welded the piece in there, welded the piece in there, and now I've made that piece up, which is the piece of floor, which is the next skin, which will go in there. See the copper nailing, because some of them needed replacing, didn't they, Andy?
Yeah, she's been shot blast a few years ago.
There's a bigger version of what they're putting in. There's the head that Andy just showed you that was missing, and then it gets pushed through the planking, and then this gets put on, which is a rode, is it called?
Rove.
Rove. That gets pushed on.
R-O-V-E.
Gets pushed on like that. Then they snip the excess off, like cut the end of that off, and then you rivet it round the top of that. Simple as that, look, see?
There we go.
Anyway, we're going to show you now.
There's a nail, look. See him?
There's a nail there.
And the rove goes on there.
The rove's going on the top.
And then you use the rove punch, which is bored a hole down through, which allows the copper washer, or rove, to be driven up. There's a tight drift. So that acts as a... And you're snipping off about 2 mil from the rove to allow enough material to rivet back.
And you rivet it over.
You on him, Nick?
Yeah. So you can see what Andy's doing. Let's just show you what Nick's doing the other side. This is Andy's son here. Nick, who's holding the dolly on there. So,
And there it is.
you go.
All riveted up.
All riveted up. And so there you go. A Christmas special. I'm sorry it wasn't more professional. I'm sorry there's no glittery lights, but I haven't had time to put them up. And in any case, I'm not here a lot of the time. I'm working, and I will be going up to see my mum, who's 92 next year. Imagine that. So yeah, I wanted to go up and see her because, you know, I can only contact her on the phone when I'm in Greece. So it'd be nice to go and see her. I'm going to go up Christmas Day and see her, and then back to work again. So, if you've subscribed, thank you ever so much. I'm really humbled and really chuffed by the comments, the messages I get, the people I see on the road, and the fact that you bother to subscribe and watch me every Friday. And I know a lot of you do tune in on a Friday to watch what I've been up to. So it's important that I get those videos out. I do try and get them out on a Friday. Although over the Christmas period, this might be the last one for a week, just so I can catch things up again. There is in the bank a few kefalonia videos that I maybe will just stick out there. I've been trying to save them up so that you don't get too bored of the UK, because I know most of the people who watch this watch it for the kefalonia clips. So anyway, if you've subscribed and liked, thank you ever so much. If you haven't, why not? Costs nothing. You'll get to see this idiot doing all sorts of stupid things. And some things that will blow you away, because they blow me away. I can't believe what, like I say, I've had a great year last year. And amongst all the stuff that's gone on in the world, you know, my prayers are with the people in war zones, those that can't feed themselves or heat their homes, and people who live on the streets. So, you know, I'm in a fortunate position, really, and I count my blessings every day. And if you're in the same position, you should too. So, thanks for watching. I'll be back in Kefalonia probably February, maybe mid-March, depending on how the work goes. I've got so much work on at the moment. I've never had this amount of work, and of course, I can't cope with doing it all, which sounds ridiculous. So but I'm getting through it, and I'm earning some money. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye, Santa. Don't forget to deliver my Harley to Greece.